Hello and welcome to the Gallant Few Rangers podcast. My name is Mason Stewart and I'll be your host. No, I won't be a host. I'll be a contestant for our other semi-final quiz, which, really looking forward to this one. Participating in the quiz tonight with me is Bill. How are you, Bill?
Great, Mason. Thank you very much. Good to be on. Looking forward to this. Excellent experience. I'll probably come in dead last, but that doesn't really matter. It's just the taking part that counts, eh?
Absolutely. And next up, we've got Davie P. How are you, Davie?
Smashing, lads. Yep, looking forward to this. Although there is a danger that this will get a tad embarrassing, so I'm just going to write down some excuses now, though. If I don't know the answers, I'll try and make up something that I think's funny. I'll do.
Yeah, no phones, no Googling, by the way. I know what you two are, but no, I'm joking. But last but not least, we've got the host tonight, Davie Heard. Thanks for coming on again, Davie.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I don't know if I've got a better reputation here. I don't think it's going to be that difficult the way you're going to. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I think maybe all I can say is that if you're worse than the guys in the first semi-final, you're going to be really bad.
I feel under pressure now.
I'm sure we'll manage it.
I'm sure. Well, you might. So the idea is that we've got a winner from the first semi-final. One of you three fine chaps will win tonight, and you'll go into a final, which we'll subsequently record once I've made some questions up for it. The format tonight will be you'll get 20 questions about Rangers. They'll be split into 5 rounds of 4 questions each. At the end of each round, we'll just go around and get your answers so we can keep score as we go. And if by some miracle there's a draw at the end of it, there'll be a tie-break question to try and sort you out so we get somebody to go through to the final. All makes sense? Good.
I'm ready.
Okay. Do you want to just crack on? No questions? You want to just crack on?
Let's go.
All righty. Let's go for it. Okay. So, round 1. Bearing in mind that I do realise that usually there's a lot of younger people in these things than me. So I need to bear in mind that I'm probably usually one of the oldest that takes part in these things. Round 1 is called Rangers in Recent Years, which means you've got absolutely no excuse whatever age you are. Although it depends your definition of recent years. My definition of recent years is from 2012 onwards. You can have your own definition if you like. So, question 1 in Rangers in recent years is, quite simply, who scored the first Rangers goal of season 2022-23? Who scored the first Rangers goal of the season that's just finished, in other words? This is the bit I try and figure out how long I give you to answer it. All right. We'll move on. Question 2.
Guess.
Rangers won Division 1 in season 2013-14 without losing a game. Who was the club's top goal scorer in the league that season with 20 league goals? So Division 1, 2013-14, they won it without losing a game. Who was the top league goal scorer with 20 goals in 2013-14? Also known as the banter years, but not by me. All righty.
Okay.
Because you're awfully quiet.
Second guess.
Okay. Question. Question 3. Which Rangers player was sent off in Pedro Caixinha's last match in charge of Rangers in October 2017?
God, I remember the game. I don't remember sending off that. No.
I don't know whether Some kind of background noise going on. I don't know what that is. All right. And the last question of round one, to completely dumbstruck you all completely. Stuart McCall took charge of Rangers for the first time in a home draw against which team in March 2015? So who was the opposition in Stuart McCall's first game as Rangers manager?
Oh.
That is brutal, that.
See, I could have told you the score, but I can't remember who it was against. Oh.
Yeah, well, actually, one of your colleagues, his tactic was always, it's 1 or 2. And whenever he got it wrong, he said, it was the other one.
That's Colin, isn't it? That was definitely Colin.
Yeah. And I believed him until he said it for about the 4th time. Then I thought, he's at it. Right, are we happy to now go around and get the scores for question 1? Also known as the easy round. That was sarcasm there before you. Okay. So, question 1. Who scored the first Rangers goal last season? Mason, we'll start with you.
Scott Arfield.
Okay. Bill?
It was 1 or 2. I'm going to say Tavernier.
Okay. And David?
Yeah, my guess was Tavernier as well. Just because I thought that
the correct answer, the correct answer was it was at Livingston and it was Scott Arfield. Tavernier then scored a free kick about 2 minutes later and we won 2-1. So Mason gets the point there. Okay, top goal scorer in 2013-14 with 20 league goals. Bill, who do you think it was?
Flanagan.
Okay.
Flanagan.
Davie.
Oh, the big.
I know who you mean.
I've got my second guess is John Daly.
John Daly? Okay.
Yeah.
Lee
Mason.
McCulloch.
The answer is John Daly. So,
what a shot, Davie.
Davie, your guess was correct. Number 3, who was sent off in Pedro Caixinha's last game in charge? Davie.
Joey Barton.
Mason.
Ryan Jack.
Bill.
I'm going to say Ryan Jack as well.
Well, those that said Ryan Jack have both got a point. He gets sent off in the very last minute against Kilmarnock. Remember, we actually had a penalty, but he gets sent off. I think he was in a fight with Kirk Broadfoot. I think it was Kirk Broadfoot. We then missed the penalty there and all the party.
Oh gosh, that was it. The game.
I think it was Chris. Was it Chris? Maybe Chris Buck that actually scored them. I can't remember them. They scored with a 4-minute injury time or something.
And Doran's got a bad injury as well.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. See, it's all coming flooding back. And the last question was the opposition in Stuart McCall's first game in charge of Rangers. Mason.
I went with Morton.
Bill.
Dunfermline.
And Davie.
I'll go with Alloa.
Well, I don't need to write anything down for this one. The answer was actually Livingston, who were in the championship with us at the time. And we kept dropping points from them as well. So, at the end of round 1, Mason has 2, and the other 2 guys have got 1. So, all to play for. So, round 2.
Hey.
Round two is quite simply called Legends. And it is questions about players who are in the Rangers Hall of Fame. So, considering the Hall of Fame goes back to 1872, who knows how far back I might go with this one. So question 5. John Gregg was voted the greatest ever Ranger. How many times did he win the Scottish Cup as a player? How many times did John Greig win the Scottish Cup as a player? I think in the telly they usually say, if you don't know, just guess. Is it the number? Question 6. Name the man who was Rangers' longest serving player, playing a club record 940 competitive games in a 22-year career between 1925 and 1947. This is when I know who's read my first book, you see. The answer to that question is none of you. Right, Rangers' longest serving player, 22 years between 1925 and 1947, 940 competitive games. Question 7, something a bit more recent then, which isn't difficult. Which Rangers Hall of Fame player started for Dunfermline in the 2006 League Cup final against Celtic? Which Rangers Hall of Fame player started for Dunfermline in the 2006 League Cup final against Celtic?
2006.
It was season 2006-07, I'm pretty sure. Or maybe 2005-06, I can't remember.
I can't even remember the game.
The Rangers Hall of Fame player against Dunfermline. Okay, and the last question of this round. Which Hall of Fame player played 171 consecutive Rangers games between April 1972 and August 1975? And the timeline in that probably narrows it down quite a bit. Which Hall of Fame player played 171 consecutive Rangers games between April 1972 and August 1975? And that one's not Flanagan.
No, but I've got that as the answer for number 6.
Okay. That's the end of that round. So we'll start with your good self, Bill. How many times did John Greig win the Scottish Cup?
I'm going to say 6.
6. Davie?
I've got 5.
6, 5. And Mason, what's your number?
5 as well for me.
Okay, well, actually, I'll even read the years out to you. 1963, 1964, 1966, 1973, 1976, 1978. 6.
6.
Bill comes up on the sidelines, up on the rails.
Yeah.
Okay, Davie, who was the club's longest serving player between 1925, played 940 times? Who was he?
I've just gone with a guess. Davie Meiklejohn.
Meiklejohn? Mason?
Do you know what? Collins actually said this on a recent podcast when we done captains, I'm sure. Jock Shaw.
Jock Shaw. Bill?
I did not even get a guess at that. I've passed.
No. Before your time, before everybody's time. The answer was a right back by the name of Dougie Gray. I don't know if you've heard of Dougie Gray, but if you haven't, you should look him up because his Rangers career was absolutely incredible. If you include wartime, he won the league 16 times, which is just absolutely bizarre. Anyway, okay, so Dougie Gray was the answer to that one. I'm looking forward to the answers to the next one. Rangers Hall of Fame player who started for Dunfermline against Celtic in the League Cup final in 2006. Mason.
I've gone with Alan McGregor.
Alan McGregor. Bill.
I've gone with the obviously wrong Stuart McCall.
Davie.
I've gone with one which I now know is wrong, but Ian Ferguson I've put down.
He did play for Dunfermline, but not in that cup final. The answer was Alan McGregor, who was on loan to Dunfermline that season from Rangers. It was before he became the established number one at the club.
2005-06.
And the last...
that was, maybe.
That probably was. I think the game was played in early 2006. So it probably was, yeah. And finally, which Hall of Fame player played in 171 consecutive games, 72 to 75? Go on, Bill. Hit us with that one. 72 to 75.
Well,
Who's likely to have played 171 consecutive games?
You're narrowing it down didn't work for me because it was well before my time, but I've written down Derek Johnson.
Well, he's certainly a Hall of Fame player. Davie?
I've gone with the Girvan Lighthouse, Peter McCloy.
Peter McCloy. Mason?
I went with Sandy Jardine.
The answer is Sandy Jardine.
Yes.
So at the end of this round, Mason is now in the lead with 4. Bill 2 and Davie 1. But you'll enjoy the next round more, I promise, because the next one's called Rangers in Europe. So Dougie Gray can't be in this because Europe was after he stopped. So Rangers in Europe. Question 9. Steven Gerrard's first game as Rangers manager was a Europa League qualifier against FC Skopje. Which country are they from?
Oh, what killer.
I was going to ask who scored the first goal in it, but then I thought, nah, that's even...
I wish you did. I wish you did.
Oh, now you say it.
I remember that. Oh, God.
The night we all went to Ibrox to see Stevie G for the first time. We won 2-0. What country were FC Skopje from? SHKUPI. All right, question 10. What was the aggregate score when Rangers beat Shelbourne of Ireland in Dick Advocaat's first European matches as manager? Aggregate score when Rangers beat Shelbourne of Ireland. Pretty famous first game. Question 11. Who scored his only European competition goal for Rangers against Partizan Belgrade in 2006 at Ibrox? Who scored his only European competitive goal for Rangers in a game against Partizan Belgrade in 2006 at Ibrox?
Remember that.
I was at the game.
We're talking the Le Guen years now.
Yeah. I think I got that one.
And the last one of this round. Against which team did Jim Baxter famously suffer a broken leg in the last minute of a 1964 European Cup match? The moment my old dad changed football history, he said. Jim Baxter broke his leg in the very last minute of a European Cup tie in 1964. Who were the rather famous opposition? Rather famous if you're old enough to know about it, I suppose. Right. Here we go. Steven Gerrard's first game as Rangers manager. Davie. Where were FC Skopje from?
I know it's somewhere in the Balkans. I've gone with North Macedonia.
Oh, that's a good shout.
Okay. Mason.
Armenia.
Armenia. Bill.
I wrote down Macedonia scored out and went with Albania. So I'll be raging if Davie gets this right.
Well, the answer is Macedonia, so you can rage away in the corner now if you want. I don't think it was called North Macedonia. I think they're now called North Macedonia. I don't think they were called North then. I think they were just called Macedonia then.
Do I get the point, though, Dave?
Well, of course you do. Of course you do.
It's doubled my score.
Mr. Jen, exactly. The aggregate score when Rangers beat Shelbourne when Mr. Advocat took over. Mason.
So the first leg obviously was 3-0 down at half time, am I right in saying? And then come back and won
just after half time, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, just
after 5-3 in the first game, yeah.
And then I want to say it was 3-0 at Ibrox, so 8-3.
8-3. Okay. Bill?
Yeah, 8-3.
Oh, that's what they do in Countdown, isn't it? They show my working out. Right.
There you are.
Davie?
I've got 7-3.
7-3. Well, the second game was 2-0. So the correct answer actually is 7-3. So Davie, you're making a run here. This is you warmed up. You're now officially warmed up. Right, Bill, who scored his only European competitive goal against Partizan Belgrade in 2006?
I've written down Philip Sebo.
Oh, there's a name from the past. Oh, that actually sent a shiver up my back when you said that.
Oh, I saw that, aye.
I know, so, oh dear. Davie?
This is a complete guess, and I was actually at the game against Partizan Belgrade. It was in the Govan stand, if I can remember the game. Anyway, my answer's Brahim Hamdani.
Oh, Brahim Hamdani. Mason?
I remember the guy. I'm going to say Alan Hutton. I know he didn't score many. I remember him scoring in Europe that season. I'm hoping it's that one.
Yeah, your hope has just come true because it was Alan Hutton. Hamdani actually scored against Osasuna. That was his only European goal. I don't think if Sebo ever scored in Europe, I must have blinked and missed it because I don't remember him scoring. I don't remember him doing anything, to be quite honest with you. But anyway, oh dear. And the last question: who was Jim Baxter playing against when he got his broken leg, which basically ended his dominant Rangers career? Davie, you won't remember it, but maybe your dad told you about it or something. So
I've got
who did Baxter break his leg against? Rapid Vienna. Mason.
Bayern Munich. Total guess.
Bayern Munich. Bill.
Feyenoord, also a total guess.
And see, the man that didn't total guess was Davie because he knew it was Rapid Vienna, didn't you? Because it was Rapid Vienna.
Hey, I knew. I kind of familiar with the story. Did they not have to transport him in an ambulance to the airport? And there was a whole.
It was a big ice. It was an icy pitch, and Baxter was ripping the pee out of them. On we were 2-0 up, coasting through, and I think one of the players just had enough in the 90th minute and just absolutely halved him. Yep, broke his leg. Yeah, my old man is absolutely convinced we'd have won the European Cup for that hand. Anyway, so after 3 rounds, Mason's got 5, Davie's got 4. Oh, it's getting closer, and Bill's got 2. So everyone's still in it, which is the main thing. Round 4, I've entitled the Souness and Smith years. So they're all things to do with things that happened when either Graham Souness or Walter Smith was the manager. Question 13. Who was Rangers' top league goal scorer in season 88-89, the first of the 9 in a row? So the top league goal scorer in the first of the 9 in a row years. I can't believe it. That's so long ago when I think about it, because I can remember that season so well. Question 14. To which club did Graham Souness sell Terry Butcher in 1990? Remember, he fell out with Terry Butcher, club captain.
Yeah.
Sold him 1990. Where did he sell him to? Okay, that's the two Graham Souness questions, so you won't be surprised to know that the next two are Walter Smith ones. What player did Walter Smith sign from Italian side Vicenza in the summer of 1996? Who arrived from Vicenza in the summer of 1996? Turns the page.
Oh gosh, I can see his face. I can't remember his name.
Oh, see if you draw him and if I recognise him.
Does it rhyme with macaroni?
Just draw his face, and if it looks right, I'll give you half a point for it. And the last question, quite simply, is who were the last team to beat Rangers with Walter Smith as the manager?
God, what a question that is.
Who were the last team to beat Rangers with Walter Smith as manager?
I think I know, actually.
Oh. Yeah, the second spell.
He certainly did. Who were the last team to beat us with Sir Walter in charge? Oh, Mason looks really hacked off at this one, I'll tell you. That endeth the second last round. So let's go back to question one, innit? We'll start with Bill. Who was Rangers' top league goal scorer in the first of the 9 in a row? Season 88-89.
See if I've written down 2 and I've scored 1 out. If I get this wrong, I'll be raging.
Oh dear.
I'm going to say McCoist.
He was certainly top scorer a lot, so there's got to be a chance there. Davie.
I've put down, for no obvious reason, Kevin Drinkle.
Bastard.
Kevin Drinkle. And Mason.
I was trying to think of strikers. I think McCoist, I don't know if it's a bit too early. I went with just at Mottle was just totally left field. I don't know if he signed after that.
Well, the correct answer to the question is Kevin Drinkle. So, Davie, you're making a better comeback than Lazarus at the moment. Right, okay, so the next question was, to which club did Graham Souness sell Terry Butcher in 1990? So, Davie, seeing you're on a roll, you can answer it first.
This is a complete guess. Sunderland.
Sunderland. Mason?
I've went with Coventry.
Sent to Coventry. Bill?
Likewise, complete guess. Leicester.
Well, one of the guesses came up because it actually was Coventry. So Mason, well done. He actually went to Sunderland after that, Davie. I think he did become player manager at Sunderland or something. I'm sure he did.
I knew there was a Sunderland connection. I wasn't sure.
Sure he went there. Right, Mason. What player did Walter Smith sign from Vicenza in 1996?
There's obviously 2 obvious ones, but I've gone with Gattuso.
Bill?
I've gone with Sergio Perini.
Davie?
I had Rino Gattuso as well, because he was the only Italian player I remember, other than Sergio Perini, who came for Juve, I believe.
Amoruso is the other one.
What if I was to say that Amoruso, Negri, Perini, Gattuso all signed the following summer in 97? They didn't sign in 96. We didn't sign any Italians in 1996. The answer is actually Joachim Björklund, a Swedish defender.
Oh, it is indeed, yes. Chenza.
Who came from Italy. That was a bastard question, I'm well aware of that. Right, anyway. So, well, let's go a bit more up to date. Who were the last team to beat Rangers when Walter was in charge? Mason, you were absolutely climbing the walls. I've got to get you to answer that one first because I need to get you out of your misery quickly.
So I remember, obviously, getting a sore one at Parkhead 3-0, but we definitely got beat again after that, and I've got a feeling it was Dundee United at Ibrox, and David Goodwillie got a couple. And I remember thinking the league was over. If we lost after that, I'll be surprised. I'm going with Dundee United.
Dundee United, okay. Bill?
I don't have anything like that level of recall for that season, so I've gone with a complete guess, which is Hearts.
Hearts. Davie?
And my complete guess is St Johnstone.
Right.
Complete, not a good.
Well, it was that 3-2 game against Dundee United. I don't know if you remember it was 2 each, an injury time at the end, and we pushed everybody forward thinking we needed to win the game. And they broke up the park, and Goodwillie basically had no defenders at all chasing him. He just walked right up to the halfway line, almost right to the goal and put it in. And we all thought the league was over.
But that's it. That's what I remember thinking. They was our bogey team as well. I swear they took points against us early in the season as well. Was it 2-2, 3-2? And Kevin Thompson scored in that. Last kick of the game. Yeah, always give us a game. They did.
So with one round to go, Mason's now got 7, Davie's got 5, and Bill's got 2. So Bill's playing for pride, unfortunately. But there's 4 questions left, and the 4 questions left are about the domestic cups, the League Cup and Scottish Cup. So question 17. Who is the last Rangers player to have scored for the club in both a League Cup final and a Scottish Cup final? Who's the last Rangers player to have scored for the club in both a League Cup final and a Scottish Cup final? Unfortunately, there haven't been too many of either of them in the last decade, so you probably need to start getting back about it, don't you? A little bit, anyway.
Oh, no.
Okay. Question 18. Something very recent, I think. Substitute Scott Arfield scored a vital equaliser in the 2022 Scottish Cup semi-final win over Celtic. Who had he replaced just 3 minutes earlier?
Watch the highlights of that.
So I'm sure we all remember Arfield scoring the goal.
Yeah.
I'm sure we all remember Arfield scoring that goal. Belter it was as well.
Great.
It was only 10 or 12 minutes to go when he scored that. He had only come on as a substitute 3 minutes earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Who went off? Question 19. Oh, guesses can be good. Question 19. Which Rangers player was sent off in the 2009 League Cup final?
Sent off.
Sent off. Red carded. Dispatched.
2009.
So, it's season 2008-2009. So which player was sent off in the 2008-2009 League Cup final? And Davie's about to say, I was there. And the final question, and your torture's almost over. Rangers beat Celtic 1-0 in the 1999 Scottish Cup final to win the treble in Dick Advocaat's first season. There were just 3 Scottish players in the starting 11 that day. Colin Hendry was one, Neil McCann was a second. Who was the third? So the 1999 Scottish Cup final, 1-0 against Celtic. Advocat won the treble in his first season. 3 Scots in the starting 11. Colin Hendry, Neil McCann are 2 of them. Who was the other one? Are you suitably knackered after that? Well, we do the tiebreaker as well, just in case. Because it could be a draw at the end of this. It still could be.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the tiebreaker is one of these daft questions. It's just that you just have to guess a number, basically, isn't it? So the tiebreaker question is, Ali McCoist scored 355 competitive goals for Rangers. How many of those 355 goals were penalties? It's meant to be a guess. You're not actually meant to know that, right? How many of Ali's 355 record-breaking goals for Rangers were penalties? That's only in the event of a draw. All right, so the last round. Oh, wasn't this getting exciting? Is it? It might be. Okay, Davie. Who's the last Rangers player to have scored in both a League Cup final and a Scottish Cup final?
I've gone with Kenny Miller.
Kenny Miller, okay. Mason.
Chris Boyd.
Chris Boyd. Bill.
I too went with Kenny Miller.
And the Kenny Miller folks are absolutely correct. He scored 2010 League Cup final against Hibs, and the goal everybody forgets, he scored against Hibs in the 2016 Cup final that we lost.
Trying to forget that.
Mirren in the League Cup final and Hibs in the Scottish Cup final.
Did not score against the
League
Cup final as well?
Aye, some in the League Cup final, Hibs in the Scottish Cup final. Question 18. Who did Scott Arfield replace just before he scored against Celtic at Hampden in the semi-final of the Cup? Mason.
I went with Ryan Jack.
Ryan Jack. Bill.
I watched the highlights of this just a few days ago. Arfield and Davis came on at the same time and replaced Jack and AN other. Don't know who the other was, so I'm saying Jack.
Jack, okay.
I've got John Lundstrom. It was a guess.
The
answer is Joe Aribo. It was the other one that went off. It was the other one that went off.
It was indeed. He'd walked around the other side of the park. Aye, spot on.
Joe Aribo was the answer to that one. Question 19. Which Rangers player was sent off in the 2008-9 League Cup final? Bill.
Who was it against, Davie?
Celtic.
I might not even have this right in terms of time frame, but I've written down Lee McCulloch.
Lee McCulloch. Mr. P.
I've gone with Davie Weir. Again, just as a...
Yeah. Mason.
I went with Sasa Papac. I don't know why. I feel like it was the last kick of the game and I can't remember who it was.
I don't know if you remember. It's another one of these ones. See finals you lose. You tend to just airbrush them out your head, don't you? You tend to forget them. That was a game that went to extra time. Celtic scored. They were 1-up. The time was nearly up. And McGeady ran through? And he get brought down for a penalty. Last man. And it was Kirk Broadfoot that got sent off. And they scored the penalty 1-2-0. Was it McGeady? I think it was. Yeah, anyway, Kirk Broadfoot definitely brought him down. And it was him that got sent off.
Darren O'Dea, wasn't it, with a header?
He scored first, that's right. Was that the day Christian Daly played up front or something? Anyway, finally, last question. And there is still only 1 point in it, you know. Not that I'm trying to build the excitement up here, but there's only 1 point in it. The 1999 Cup final, 3 Scots, Colin Hendry, Neil McCann, Mason, who's the third one?
Derek McInnes.
Derek McInnes. Bill?
I've written down Barry Ferguson, but it might just have been a wee bit too early.
Barry Ferguson, he certainly played most of the games that season. Davie?
I've gone completely left field and put down Andy Webster.
Oh. That's very left field. That's as left as you can get, I think. I'm trying to think how many years later it was before he joined Rangers. Quite a while. He was in the Walter Smith second spell, wasn't he? The correct answer actually was Derek McInnes. So it was. Ian Ferguson was the fourth Scot to play that day. He came on as a substitute. So our winner tonight is Mason. Well done.
Well done, Mason.
Well done. Oh, by the way, if you wanted the tiebreaker answer, just to out of your sheer curiosity, Ali McCoy scored 44 penalties. That would be 355. I don't know how close you got to that, but 44, yeah. I haven't looked to see how many Tavernier scored, but it's more than that already, I think. Anyway, that's it, guys. I hope that wasn't too painful for you.
No, that was brilliant.
Make it too difficult.
Hi.
I'm reading your book, that first book, for sure. No, thanks for that,
you didn't get to Dougie Gray.
No, I've never heard of him either, to be honest.
Oh, jeez, you don't tell me things like that. You don't tell me things that you know you heard of Dougie Gray. Just don't do it. Yeah, so I look forward to you locking horns with the other young man in the final whenever we get round to doing that one. And I hope that some of the listeners might have ended up with more points than any of you guys did. I hope. or else I've definitely made it too hard.
No, there was some cracking ones in there, weren't there? Trying to remember stuff that I can remember anyway. It was some good and bad ones.
That was brilliant.
Something I said.
Losing.
Something I said to the guys after we finished recording the other night is usually quizzes like this are done in teams. So you've usually got 3 or 4 brains all trying to think of it and bouncing it off each other. It's actually really difficult as individuals. You know, see if the 3 of you were a team just now, I'll bet you'd have ended up with 14, 15 out of 20. But you see, because you're only on your own, I think that makes it far more difficult. I don't know whether if you ever thought of doing something like this again, you'd maybe want to do some kind of team thing and knock lumps out each other. But I think it's actually quite difficult to set a standard when it's individuals.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just
with the team
me trying to make
you kind of
excuses
get
for the jobbing crap. Aye.
Make suggestions and then it triggers something else, you know, and you get that kind of dynamic.
I've never been in a quiz before like this that was individual. It was always teams. I've been at.
Yeah.
And the scores were better because of that, I think. Yeah. But anyway, well done, Mason. Congratulations. I look forward to grilling you again in the near future.
No, brilliant. No, I really enjoyed that. Thanks, Davie. And again, a little shout. I know we've just mentioned the books, Davie, but do you want to just quickly, just to finish it off, give him another little shout? Yeah, well, I'll just mention my latest one. My current book that just came out not that long ago is The Story of Season 1977-78, which I intentionally didn't put any questions in about because I thought you've been studying my book. I won't do that. Yeah. Available from Amazon, Waterstones, and all good places to buy books. And I hope whoever buys it enjoys it. No, top man. I really appreciate that, Davie. Thank you. And thanks, Bill and Davie as well for tonight. And stay tuned then for the final. I believe Colin's put out by the time this gets out, both semi-finals will be out. So give it a go and see how you get on. Thanks for listening.